finally, method of payment. That's why Steve is here. That's why he's selling the company, and this is the number one item to us. And in the term sheet, you had some really scary words. It said method of payment to be determined. Let me tell you what Steve's interest is, and that is cash at closing. Cash is king. That's what Steve wants. Now, if Brenda wants to go out and get a bank loan, we'll certainly cooperate in terms of getting the bank loan and try to convince your lender that this is a great company and definitely financeable. So please tell me it's going to be cash at closing.
I cannot give you that. And this is critical. We need to have some sort of deferred payments of the purchase price. The bank's going to want, and so does Brenda, for Steve, the seller, to have some, quote, skin in the game. He needs to have a vested interest in this company doing well over time. So if Brenda picks up the phone and says, hey, what about this? Steve is likely to answer and help out. And we want to have Steve putting as much effort into this company being a success in the future as he has in the past. And therefore, we're going to need some proportion of the purchase price to be deferred over time.
Well, what are you talking about in terms of numbers? What's Brenda going to put down? How much is Steve's note going to be?
I think the initial indications with the bank is the bank will finance about 70%. We'll have a down payment of 15%, and then we'll have seller financing under a note for another 15%.
Yikes. And how about the interest rate?
Well, I think banks are currently offering, 5% on CDs? So I think a 5% rate would be just fine.
Marcus, come on. This is not a CD. This is considered to be a much more risky loan than a CD. It's got to be prime plus something.
All right, we can talk about that. I think I could probably talk to Brenda about prime plus 1. You make a good argument there.
Or maybe prime plus 10.
Yeah.
We talked about the interest rate. How about the term of the note? How long will Steve be exposed for this? You said 15%, so that's about $450,000 if I did my math right.
Yeah, you're a math wizard.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I think we're probably going to have to match up with the bank loan, which Brenda's getting a 5-year bank loan. Therefore, I think the seller financing should mirror that, and sometimes the financing entity, the bank, will require that.
And I assume that the bank is going to want Steve's note to be subordinated
That's
to
right.
the bank loan. So that means the bank gets paid 100 cents on the dollar. In case of a bankruptcy or a liquidation, the bank gets paid 100 cents on the dollar before Steve sees a penny.
That's right.
So there is some exposure here.
Yep. So, well, and then the other thing we need to talk about is